Have you ever thought about your personality? Like, not as something fixed, but more like something you can actually work on and shape over time. That feeling, maybe, that you want to keep growing, become, a better version of yourself. Well, today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, personality development and growth. We've looked at some really interesting sources, especially one called The Evolving Self, to kind of give you a shortcut, a way to understand how you can genuinely become, well, more effective, more confident, maybe better with people, too.
Yeah. And what's really key from the material is that personality development isn't just like changing a few minor things. It's framed as this ongoing process. You're consciously working on your character, your habits, how you think, and really importantly, your emotional intelligence. That's all about understanding your own feelings and, understanding others too. So it covers things like communication, self-confidence, relationships, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so we know what it is,
Yeah.
but how? How does this ongoing process actually work? The sources seem to break it down into stages, right?
Exactly. It usually starts with self-awareness, like really deep self-awareness. The evolving self talks about not just knowing your strengths, but digging into your adaptive unconscious, those hidden things driving your reactions. Tools like journaling can help here, or maybe some personality tests, not just what you do, but why.
Okay, understanding the why. Makes sense.
Right. Then you move into goal setting and vision. And this isn't vague stuff like, I want to be more confident.
Mm.
It's about setting really specific, measurable goals, SMART goals, they call them. So instead of just more confident, it's, I will speak up in every team meeting this month. Something concrete like that.
That sounds specific and probably challenging. Is
Yeah.
that where people often get stuck, like just starting that self-awareness piece?
Oh, definitely. That's a great point. A common hurdle is, well, frankly, it can be uncomfortable looking closely at yourself.
Yeah.
Fear of what you might find, maybe. The advice usually is to start small. Focus on maybe one reaction, one habit you want to understand better. Don't try to figure everything out at once.
Right, okay. Small steps.
Yeah. And after goals comes skill building. This isn't just courses, although they can help. It's about deliberate practice in real life. Like joining Toastmasters is a classic for public speaking, sure, but it's also about using small interactions every day as practice.
Turning everyday moments into learning opportunities.
Precisely. And then there's behavioral change. This is the shift from just, reacting automatically to actually responding thoughtfully. It's like consciously replacing those old, maybe unhelpful patterns with actions that align with who you want to be.
Okay, so we've got the stages. Awareness, goals, skills, changing behavior. But beyond that structure, what about like day-to-day strategies? Anything simple we can start doing?
Absolutely. There are some really practical things. Reading is a big one. Books on personal development, think titles like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People or How to Win Friends and Influence People, but not just reading, really engaging with the ideas.
Letting them challenge how you think.
Exactly. Another big one is daily reflection. Sounds simple, but just taking a few minutes. What went well today? What could I improve tomorrow and how? It keeps you on track. And crucially, embrace challenges. You hear it all the time, but growth really does happen outside your comfort zone. So volunteering for something that maybe scares you a little, that pushes you.
Okay, that makes sense. So putting in this effort, reading, reflecting, facing challenges,
Yeah.
what's the payoff? What are the actual benefits people see?
Oh, the benefits are pretty significant. Communication gets better, clearer, confidence generally goes up, you feel more able to handle things. Career-wise, employers notice things like initiative and self-management, which often come from this kind of growth. So advancement is common.
Right, leadership potential.
Yes, and relationships usually improve too, both at work and personally. That's the emotional intelligence and empathy kicking in.
But it can't all be easy, right?
Yeah.
And there's be obstacles. What trips people up?
For sure. Common ones are fear of what others think, falling back into old habits. Consistency is tough. Sometimes it's just negative self-talk, that voice saying you can't change, or feeling overwhelmed by trying to do too much.
Yeah, I can see that. So what's the advice then?
Focus. Pick one area. Track your small wins. Really notice them and celebrate that progress. That builds momentum. Don't try to overhaul everything overnight.
Right, it's a marathon, not a sprint. This whole deep dive really paints a picture of, well, possibility.
It really does. And the core message isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, your most authentic self. And honestly, whether you're studying, working, whatever stage you're at, putting energy into this kind of growth, it helps your performance, your connections with people, and just your overall well-being. It is valuable for pretty much anyone.
So thinking about all that,
Yeah.
what's one small step, maybe just one thing you listening could do today to move towards your best version? Something to think about.